uncertainties. Rather than ceding authority to the executive branch, our bill empowers Congress at every step from trade negotiations to final approval of the agreement itself. Our bill makes clear what objectives a trade agreement must reach in order to be approved by Congress. In fact, the bill contains the clearest articulation of trade priorities in our nation's history. It includes nearly 150 ambitious, high-standard negotiating objectives, including strong rules for intellectual property rights and agricultural trade, as well as protections for U.S. investment. In addition to setting negotiating objectives, our legislation constrains the administration in a number of ways. For example, it ensures that implementing bills for trade agreements will include, and I'm quoting the text of the bill here, quote, only such provisions as are strictly necessary or appropriate to implement, unquote, trade agreements. Additionally, it makes clear that any commitments made by the administration that are not disclosed to Congress before an implementing bill is introduced are not to be considered part of the relevant agreement and will have no force of law. And our legislation clarifies that trade agreements must be concluded within the TPA timeframe and that any substantial modifications or additions made after that time will not be eligible for approval under TPA procedures. So while I understand and even sympathize with those who might be suspicious of this administration and its tendency to push the boundaries of its constitutional authority, our TPA bill speaks to these exact concerns. Furthermore, for those who might be worried that trade agreements could be used to undermine U.S. sovereignty, our bill addresses those issues as well. First, the bill makes clear that any provision of a trade agreement that is inconsistent with federal or state law will have no effect. Second, it states specifically that federal and state laws will prevail in the event of a conflict with a trade agreement. Third, it affirms that no trade agreement can prevent Congress or the states from changing their laws in the future. Fourth, it confirms that the administration cannot unilaterally change U.S. law. As you can see, Mr. President, far from abdicating Congress's power over U.S. trade policy, our TPA bill enhances the role of Congress when it comes to trade agreements.